Probably more so than any other holiday, Christmas is a time for stories. I mean, whether you're a desperate man on a bridge being shown an image of what the world would be like had he never existed, or whether you're a tiny reindeer learning to live with a facial deformity.
Poor old Rudolph. Why wouldn't they let him join their reindeer games?
I don't know, I think maybe they were just jerks.
I think so too. In any case, we've got a bunch of Christmassy comics to take a look at because, we're doing a Christmas special.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes
totally
sense.
does.
And when it comes to Christmas, what's the first thing you think of?
Santa, presents, mistletoe!
No, Smurfs.
Of course!
The Smurfs Christmas is an anthology of short Smurf stories from creator Kapow that will leave you using the word Smurf as a noun, an adjective, or a verb with complete abandon.
You can Smurf that again. I quite liked this anthology. It's a sweet little book for younger readers, and I think it'll make quite a good little stocking stuffer. So I'm going to give it a Smurf.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? You've got all your favourites in there, there's Gargamel, there's even a dragon. So yeah, I agree, it's a good one for younger readers. I'm gonna give it a Smurf.
Cool. Well, from the light and smurfy to the dark and grisly, let's have a look at The Last Christmas. Following an apocalyptic war, the human race is spending less of their holiday season gift shopping and more of it fighting off flesh-eating mutants. But Santa is still doing his best to keep the Christmas spirit alive.
At least he is until Mrs. Claus gets murdered by marauders. After that, he goes on a drinking binge for a few years and attempts suicide a bunch of times. There's a really twisted sense of humour to this book, which was written by Jerry Duggan and Brian Posen. Some of the jokes occasionally hit a bit of a bum note, but there are a fair few chuckle-out-loud moments.
There is. I laughed quite a lot in this. The Mad Magazine-style artwork by Rick Remender and Hilary Barter fit really well with the tone. I did feel like it could have gone just that little bit further, but I had fun reading this overall, so I'm going to give it a borrow.
Yeah, look, I felt like they were aiming for a kind of a Garth Ennis level of messed upness, but also they were trying to bring the humour in as well. Sometimes it felt a little bit unbalanced as a result, but yeah, it had a lot of good parts into it as well, so yeah, I'm going to give it a borrow.
Cool, and finally, there is one thing that just makes it Christmas, but other than the Smurfs.
Thank you.
And that's Batman.
That's right, and Lee Bermeo's Batman Noel casts Bruce Wayne as a stand-in for Ebenezer Scrooge. Not a connection you would necessarily make off the top of your head, but this retelling of A Christmas Carol using familiar DC faces works surprisingly well.
I thought using Jason Todd as Jacob Marley was really quite clever, and who else but the Joker could be the ghost of Christmas future? I also liked the perspective it gives you on Batman and how he's gotten darker over the years. What did you think of the art style, Al?
I thought it was at its best when it was simple. Some of the pages got a bit busy and chaotic, but then you turn to a single image of the Joker through a half-open door that's just creepily brilliant.
I don't know, I quite liked those splash pages. The composition itself I think is really quite well done, and there is a wonderful sense of momentum throughout the whole book, so I'm going to give it a buy.
Okay, well look, I did like it, but I did feel at times the Christmas Carol concept felt a little bit contrived, especially later on. But yeah, there's a lot of good things in there. I'm giving it a borrow.
Cool.
Overall, I think if I was gonna go for a Batman holiday read, I'd probably just go back to Long Halloween.
That is awesome,
I love that book.
But there you go, guys. There's a few Christmassy comics to get your hands on in front of a roaring fire with a glass of eggnog.
You know you live in Australia, right?
Yeah, I'll still do it.
It'll melt.